When you woke up this morning, what did you do first? Did you hop into the shower, check your email, or grab a biscuit from the kitchen? Did you brush your teeth before or after taking shower? Did you tie the left or right shoe first? You see, most of the choices we make each day may feel like the product of well-considered decision making, but they are not. They are habits. William James once said, "All our life, so far as it has definite form, is but a mass of habits." And though each habit means relatively little on its own, but over time, the meals we order, what we say to our friends, whether we save or spend, how often we exercise, and the way we organize our thoughts and work routines have enormous impacts on our health, productivity, financial security, and happiness. One paper published by a Duke University researcher in 2006 found that more than 40% of the actions people perform each day weren't actually decisions, but habits. So the question is, how habits are formed? Well, when the MIT researchers started working on habits in the 1990s, they were curious about the nerve of neurological tissues known as the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia is situated towards the center of the skull and plays a vital role in the formation of habits. The MIT researchers started experimenting on rats by employing new microtechnologies that allowed them to observe in minute details what was occurring within the heads of rats as they performed dozens of routines. The rat was placed inside a T-shaped maze with chocolate at one end. The maze was structured so that each rat was positioned behind a partition that opened with a loud click sound. Initially, when the rat heard the click and saw the partition disappear, it would usually wander up and down the center aisle, sniffing in corners and scratching at walls. It appeared to smell the chocolate, but couldn't figure out how to find it. But eventually, they discovered their reward. There was no significant pattern in their meanderings, but reading inside their head told a different story. While the rats wandered through the maze, its brain, and particularly its basal ganglia, worked furiously as it was processing information the whole time. As the scientists repeated this experiment several times, the rat learned how to navigate the maze and its mental activity decreased. The rat started thinking less and less as the route became more automatic. This process in which the brain converts a sequence of actions into an automatic routine is known as chunking, and it's the root of how habits form. Habits emerge because the brain is constantly looking for ways to save efforts. This effort-saving instinct is a huge advantage as it allows us to stop thinking constantly about basic behaviors such as walking, eating, and devote our mental energy to inventing aeroplanes and video games. But conserving mental effort is tricky, because if our brains power down at the wrong moment, we might fail to notice something important, such as a predator hiding in the bushes, or a speeding car as we pull onto the street. So, our basal ganglia have devised a clever system to determine when to let habit take over. It is called the habit loop. This process within our brain is a three-step loop. First, there is a cue. A cue is a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode and which habit to use. For example, in case of the rat experiment, the cue is the click sound and the opening of the partition. Second is the routine, which can be physical or mental or emotional. Again, in case of the rat experiment, from behind the partition, if the rat hears a click, it knows to use the maze habit. But if it hears a cat scream, it chooses a different pattern. Finally, there is a reward, which helps your brain figure out if this particular loop is worth remembering for the future. In the rat experiment, the reward was the chocolate. Over time, this loop, cue, routine, reward, becomes more and more automatic, and hence a habit is formed.